Hi, I'm Monickie Scott.
And this is your girl, Felina B. Flossin. Thank you for joining us as we support and encourage women in the five-star living journey. Today, we get to shine the five-star spotlight on Denise Dixon, owner of Cosmetology Institute of Las Vegas and author of Poverty Costs More Than You Think.
Woohoo! Yes, and that is just a few of her titles. In her book, Denise shares what she has learned during her journey, going from a child who grew up in poverty to a young woman who depended on welfare and who is now an owner of several thriving businesses. Welcome to the Five Star Living Show, Denise.
Welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Absolutely. So in a few moments, we'll talk more about your journey. But first, let's talk five-star. Five, that's what it is, five-star. When you hear the words five-star living, what does that mean in your world?
I just think it means the best.
Absolutely.
The best
Can you
of
hear me?
what?
Um, the best of anything you want in life. So I got a chance to travel to Dubai once, and I was able to stay at the only 7-star hotel in the world, I believe. And to me, it's like when you can get to that level, you can't settle for anything less. So 5-star living just means in every aspect of your life, you want to be the very best.
Absolutely. And for anyone that knows Denise, knows she knows how to get some relaxation and a nice trip away, huh? So
Absolutely.
what are some things that you do to bring balance to your life specifically?
I'm very, very selfish with my time to myself. And I had to become that way just for the most part. At one point, I was a wife, a mother of 5 kids, and, building businesses. So, I had to learn early on that if my cup is not full, I cannot give to anybody else. So I'm very selfish with my time, my self-care, and I learned to keep my cup full, and in turn, I can give from my overflow.
Yes.
Nice. Well, thank you for giving our listeners a little insight on how you're living five star. Let's talk now a little bit about your journey. We gave two titles, two of your career titles. What other titles do you hold that you wish to share?
Definitely the fact that I'm a mom, that's a very important title for me because I have 5 kids who are watching me on this journey, and I'm basically instilling in them what it means to not have to wait for someone to give you an opportunity to go out and get it for yourself. So I think out of all the titles, being a mom is my most important because I have to be that role model for 5 young people to go out into the world and be great.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. I love the fact that you said you have to be a role model for five young people. I'm sure they are definitely watching every moment and that they are learning some great, great things from you. Many people say
Yeah.
that from a young age, they knew they wanted to do something big in life. When did you know that you were going to be a business owner or an author?
I think my mom instilled that in me early on. She is where I get my hustle from. And she was actually a single mom of 5 kids as well. So sometimes I feel like I'm just reliving her life. But early on, she would take me to school at the youngest, 3rd grade. And she would make these corsages every year for Mother's Day. And she would pick me out of all of her kids, because I was the second to the youngest, to take those corsages to school and sell them. And I promise you, every time I would come back with all of the corsages sold. So I learned how to do hustle at an early age.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. You have so many great successes. What would you say were some of the obstacles or challenges you had to overcome to get where you are now?
The biggest obstacle for me was my mindset. And I talk about that in the book where I literally, just got down to the point where I felt like I was just in a lonely place. Being an entrepreneur, they talk about how it's very lonely, especially when you start to get to certain levels and people just don't understand what that journey means. And so my biggest obstacle was basically getting myself back mentally strong after having a mental break in 2018.
Wow. And since you mentioned the book, Poverty Costs More Than You Think. Woo, that title really draws you in. Who was this book
Yeah.
for?
It's for all women like me. It's for all people who grew up the way that I grew up, where we weren't taught what it means to accumulate wealth. It was just go out and hustle and make as much as you can to make ends meet. But even when I started making a lot of money, I was still operating in a poverty state of mind. And poverty, the poverty state of mind can damage you in a lot of areas, not just financially. Your relationships, it's different aspects of your life that the poverty mindset can be very damaging. So this book is for all people who feel like I guess just choose to settle and focus on the wrong things, and hopefully it inspires people to really start thinking in a wealthy state of mind.
Absolutely. Well, I got my copy and I love your book. It's a very touching story. Thank you for being so open and sharing with others, because we need that. We need the honesty.
Thank you.
Denise, with all that you do and all that you've been through, what fuels you to keep going?
Mhm.
You know, definitely little people, but it's just so fulfilling when I can set goals and reach those goals. So that just keeps me going, like knowing what I'm able to actually go out there and accomplish. I talked about it on Facebook this month. I've been keeping people updated about this huge goal I set for myself in the month of January. And when we got down to the last week, I was still short. I'm like, am I going to do it? It was just like this adrenaline I had all week long to just accomplish the goal for myself. And once we got to the last day of the month, yesterday pretty much, I had exceeded that goal. So it's just like, that just keeps me going, just knowing what's possible.
Nice.
I love it. Crushing goal after goal after goal. You go, girl.
Yeah, thank
In the
you.
book, you talk about as you become more successful, as you become a more successful person, you will, not you might, not you shall, you will have to change your mindset. What are some of those mindsets that you have to change?
um, Fear, first and foremost. Fear is probably the biggest hurdle that people have to get over when they're wanting to go out and do something big. The other mindset is just believing that you deserve it. We are, a lot of us are brought up in a world that makes us believe that we're only as good as graduating high school, maybe going to college, and maybe working for someone else. But if you take a little girl out of the hood in North Las Vegas who barely finished high school, don't have a college degree, was on welfare assistance, barely making ends meet, had to worry about losing my power every other month. For me to take that and believe that I deserve better, that I wanted better for me and my children, and to be able to drastically change my life financially and mentally. Like for people to feel like they don't deserve that, sometimes it's hard to see and it's hard to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're definitely a modern day superhero. You are definitely a superwoman. With all of that, we love success stories here. What is something that you're most proud of yourself for achieving?
For me, when I opened up my cosmetology school, I did a lot of research as much as I could anyway before opening. And most people will go into that type of business, acquiring another business that's already kind of established. So for me to take on something like that, where I had to basically build it from the ground up without any real guidance, I made a lot of costly mistakes. But to take something like that, and now we're almost 6 years old and we became nationally accredited, like for me to build something like that on my own, and all I see now is just what we're getting ready to expand on, I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
Congratulations.
Woo.
Thank you, thank you.
So with all of that, is there one person that you want to give credit to that has made a huge difference in your life?
If it's only one, then I would have to say it's my grandmother, because she is the one who I have watched. She's the one who we all look up to. She's all of our superhero. We celebrate her every single year for her birthday, and just to see the type of virtuous woman that she is, I've never seen this woman down. I've never seen her sick. She's getting ready to be 93 years old, and she's probably healthier than most of her kids and grandkids. So she's probably the person that I would give the most credit to as to why I am the way I am.
Yes, got to give it up for the grandmas.
Yeah,
They
Yes.
are the backbone of the Black community, if ever there was one. That is
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
There's a person listening right now who's lacking the courage to either move forward in their life or to follow their dreams. What words of wisdom would you share with them?
Well, my main word right now that I'm stuck on is purpose. And I honestly believe that once a person discovers what their purpose is, and once they get over that fear, that the sky is beyond the limits.
Yeah.
So I would say first and foremost is just discover what your purpose is. Don't when you go out there and you're chasing purpose instead of paper, you'll never be broke.
Yes. Woo, say that, sis.
Say that. Say it one more time.
Yeah.
Chasing what?
When you're chasing purpose instead of paper, you'll never be broke.
Chasing purpose instead of paper.
Paper. You'll
Love it.
never be broke. Well, that's a word, ladies and gentlemen. That is a word. Hey, so before we wrap up, is there any question I forgot to ask, or could you share with our listeners how they can find you online?
Sure. You can find me on Instagram with at Miss Denise, no, Denise Dixon on Instagram as Miss Denise underscore D. My website is www.missdenised.com. I'm always at the Cosmetology Institute of Las Vegas, so if you ever want to see me in person, that's where I am.
Awesome. Well, Denise, thank you so much. We want to thank you all for listening to us and joining us on this 5-star day. We believe in you, and we believe that you are going to have a more 5-star life starting right now.
Yes, yes, yes. We know you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be right here with us. And so for that, we thank you. And we look forward to seeing you on Facebook at 5-Star Living Show. And join us in the 5-Star Living Show Inner Circle. Remember to laugh more and love more while taking care of your mind, body, and soul.
The 5-Star Living Show is sponsored in part by Flossie Flicks Photography, Monickie.com, Flossie Locks, and Meditate with Mo. Until next time, keep 5-star living and show us some love by subscribing on YouTube.
Yes, we'll see you
Yes.
next time.
Bye,
Bye
y'all.
bye.